I'm gonna keep the camera running here because ever since I've had that interaction with that woman that I believe was a demon in there, until I started talking to her, then it just bloop. I mean, I don't know, you saw it. Where'd it go though? Where did that thing go? Yeah, I've been just totally agitated. I can't think. I can't fucking. Had to snap at a couple of tourists for walking into me, which I usually don't, because I usually, as I've explained before, what I usually do is I garment for myself, and I garment for them, because I know like they're in a state of mind that's more relaxed, or they're on vacation, so they're kind of like in a certain mindset. So I move forward, like I kind of garment where they're going, and then try to, weave between them, or if I have to, I step aside for them. I try to accommodate the tourists walking here, because a lot of times they don't know where they're going. Although, I mean, they take that to the extreme of it sometimes. They're not knowing where they're going for. But yeah, since I spoke to that woman, it just shakes, fucking weird, and I just don't feel right. The most out of character thing was filming that working lady. I'm like, hey, look at this. I never do that. It's weird. I mean, they're always around. I don't ever film them or look at them. In fact, I'm always afraid to do stuff like that because, like I said the other day, anytime I mention like women here, because it's Hawaii, all beautiful women walking around without clothes on. I don't usually. I'm not a gawker. I don't do that. Even back in the day, I was always. I never did that. Not because I'm such a great person. I was just always afraid they'd catch me looking. So I never usually do it. So that was really weird. But I feel almost like I'm high. Like I just don't know what kind of high, like a manic sort of weird energy thing. This bag isn't helping though, because it's like there's only 3 zippers in it with 3 pockets, but it feels like I have the money and my cigarettes, and I have a couple weapons and stuff, and they keep moving. It feels like they're moving inside the bag. Like I opened the top zipper, it's not there. I've already lost some money and a lighter because of this fucking thing tonight. So, it's not a big deal. Living in Hawaii though, you're constantly losing money. It's so expensive to live here, it's fucking crazy. But even how expensive it always is, it's taken an uptick in being expensive. I feel better now that I'm talking. It used to be like I'd walk into the store, just the store at the end of the corner, to get whatever, a drink or some plastic forks or something, and it was always $20, no matter what. You're spending $20 if you're walking in there. Now it's $30. We made a note of that, me and my wife, like, oh, that used to be a $20 place, now it's a $30 place. And like, I just see it in the stupid stuff I buy all the time. Super glue, peroxide, baking soda, and the availability of things, like peroxide especially. I always like having it on the house because in Hawaii, right, there never is a cold enough night to kill off bacteria. So, and there's plenty of hot days that it thrives in the bacteria. So things don't die, they just grow, Like I have to always make sure the dirty clothes aren't damp, things like that, because the heat, it's just so intense, it'll just, it'll walk away on you. So I use a lot of peroxide, mainly in the bathroom. On the floor, I'll just spray it on different things, and that's been hard to get. Same thing with other stuff, like, just supplies that I usually get all the time. Coconut oil has become a tough one to get. When it shows up, it goes right out. Turmeric, the same thing. Just these basic kind of things that I used to be able to go to the store and buy no problem. What it is, and I see how it's being done, is the shortages are in, it's not just food items, it's like odd toiletries, things like that. And there's never enough at once for it to be alarming or to tip you off like, hey, there's something going on. But it'll be just like one or two things will become really hard to get. And then those things will come back, and a couple other things will be hard to get. Yeah, I'm starting to feel normal again a little bit. Yeah, I didn't want to say it was all speed on, but I feel like I'm high, like I did a bunch of coke or something. Not that I know what that feels like, because you know, I'm not a degenerate or anything. But no, it does. It feels like being on a stimulant or something. That whole like, I had a little breakdowns over by the longs, mainly because of the fucking bag. But yeah, I just don't feel, I feel weird. I feel weird. And I started thinking, because, you know, I'm paranoid, like, if there was something in that woman and it came out of her, where did it go? Like, I don't know if it could, I do have shields up, you know, of course. Not as many as Regan, but I do have shields. But I mean, they're just general stuff. There's like one that keeps me from being moved, another one that is just for just your general sort of positive shell. I added a new one lately. What was the new one? Oh, it's ridiculous. I'm not even going to talk about it. It's embarrassing. But yeah, so I'm always trying to mess with stuff like that. But I don't know. I'm not like... But I've been around them before, and I've had long, you know, relatively long interactions with them. Although every minute feels like a fucking half hour sometimes, you know. But they can't do anything to you. They're at the mercy of whatever body they're in at the time. To be able to use that body or whatever the body. Although, you know, there was one that got a hold of a homeless woman in Chinatown. There's a guy that we know that owns a tattoo shop. He closed up the shop. He's across the street having something to eat. And this woman's ranting and raving. We see this a lot, you know. Climbs up the fucking building and breaks into his shop by going to the second floor. Just climbed up the building. He said she climbed it like a spider, like just went bang, bang, bang. So I mean, what's that? I don't know. I know they can seem to have a bit more strength. If you've ever seen those exorcisms, you know, where they're throwing people around and all that kind of stuff. So, but there is a limit. You know, the bodies have a limit to them. You know what I mean? So they can only do so much while they're in there. But I don't know if they go back into the ether. Well, they're always around. That's the whole thing. They're always around. Like, if we were to get the right photography, I probably, you know, Roger and KC does this shit. I could take a picture of the road right here. And if we put it in the right tools, turned up the gain and switched the levels on them, they would appear. You can see them. Some are super tall, like the size of fucking buildings. It's creepy. They're all humanoid. And they have a thing for hats. You know, like that crown that Frenchie McFuckface wore. The lady that designed the thing for Podesta, the Dahmer thing. Oh, and after all that Dahmer stuff that I was going on about over the summer, he's got a show now. So there's some more synchronicity for us. He's got a show. And I wonder if they're going to show that image in there. Because if they do show that image, then that image is the reason the show happened. And again tonight, I saw that t-shirt. That Led Zeppelin t-shirt. In fact, I see it all the time now. Now, it's a popular shirt, right? But Zeppelin, I mean, you know, they've been around a while. They're a band that, you know, my generation definitely still holds in high esteem. And, you know, they're a classic group. And they still find a new audience every so many years, you know. But, like, almost every day, I have that image put in front of me of the bent over backwards guy. The same one that has appeared in the Doctor Strange film. The same one that appeared in that video game. I've done a whole thing. I've done a couple things about it because it keeps popping up. Now the Dahmer thing, my wife watched a couple episodes, I think. I tried to tell her about that, like, hey, do they show this thing? But she didn't know what the fuck I was talking about. But I gotta find out if it's in there, because if it is in there, then that's why the show was made. I'm just telling you. And my sources for that are no. My sources are that guy. The guy that says no, him. The Aryan looking legend that just says no. The guy that says no to nonsense. That's what he looks like to me. Like, he's the guy. He's the only one that's going to say no to their nonsense, you know? That's why you need more guys like that. Or that's why they're trying to get rid of guys like that. You know? Because they're like the dad of the world, you know? And it sucks when you're like the only one of those type of guys around and you have to do something and you really don't want to. It's like, oh, I guess everybody expects me to be the one on the bus to do something. You know what I mean? It's like, sucks. Whatever. Yeah, it was a weird fucking night. I was fine until that whole thing happened. I mean, you guys, if you're watching the last video, the one that was made before this. Although the thing with my videos too is, like, if you don't watch them as they come out, then you'll probably never see them, because I have no fucking, I don't have a good system where I group them together. You know, I group them together by like where I'm walking, which is the walking Waikiki ones. If I'm in my house, it's the Back Cave H&L. And if I'm in my garage, it's Schizo Garage. But the thing is that the topics are all the fucking same and it don't make any sense to anyone. So a lot of times, you know, I reference other videos I've done, and there's fucking hundreds of them. So how the, you know, they're not good for anybody as a resource. I'm not saying they are to begin with. I mean, this is all just my perspective and my reportage. And, God, put your lights on, brother. Put your lights on. Well, I don't know, this kind of thing that happens here. They're trying. God love them. They're trying. God love them. You gotta have, like, I have extra patience, you know, because I know, like, some people just aren't up to speed, and it's not their fault. They have, like, just their processor's weak, whatever, you know. You gotta try to help those people out. Well, I mean, you gotta try to help anyone out you can. I mean, but those people especially, you know, the ones that aren't really good with the thinking thing. But it depends on who it is, though. Sometimes you can cause bigger problems trying to help. Like, I remember one night being with my friend Craig. We were down at the store, and there were these two girls working the register, and they were overwhelmed. There's a big line there. They were having trouble. You see, you'd think this is where, like, you know, this is in my head. I think, well, they have a register there, right? That does the math for them, right? So what's the problem? But if you don't know numbers, period. So there's this big line here. And we went into, I think, by Cirrus or something. And the two girls were getting overwhelmed. It's like after midnight. So it used to be, we call it the 24-hour store. I don't know if it's still 24 hours, but there's a lot of robberies and shit there. But my friend, who's like, what the fuck? He goes, he just gets behind the counter and helps them. Oh, wait. No, this is the most important part. Before that happened, what prompted him to jump back there and help them is that they looked at the crowd of people and said, everybody just go. And they're all like, what do you mean? Like, and they're like, just take it, just take it. So then, of course, what do? You think they just take it and go? Like, oh, cool. No. They start going to the store and pulling things off the fucking shelves because people are fucking savage animals. So my friend Craig, again, just going back to the thing, the daddies of the world. We were the only daddies there. She's like, no, I got this. He jumps behind the counter and starts ringing people up for them. Now, the people that were in there start getting really mad at us because we're ruining their robbery now. I'm like, dude, I'm going outside, you know. I just, you know, I don't want to be in here, you know. So outside, I'm like, hey, well, how come your friend's doing them? Like, I don't know. I don't know. Don't fucking come near me. I don't know. So he finally got out of there, and he was like, I don't think I helped them at all. I don't think they were watching me or were paying attention. And he charged us, of course, because, you know, whatever. But and that's right, and it's the right thing to do. I wouldn't want to take, not looking to rob that place, but everybody else was, and boy, were they mad, you know. That kind of thing happens here a lot, though. That type of thing, like people do something in a really fucked up way or a wrong way, and if you don't even have to correct them, but if you're doing the same thing, this is what happens in a lot of jobs. It happened to him, exactly. Well, I'll just tell you his story. He was working for the city, and he's from New Jersey, and he's, you know, worked his whole life. So he was working for the city, and he would get the stuff he had to do that day, and he'd do it all, like in a couple hours, and then he'd keep showing back at the office, like, well, what are you supposed to do? They got mad at him because the unspoken thing is, and you know, he should have picked up on this, this is a fuck off job. Nobody does anything, and if you do anything, you're going to get in trouble. They eventually fired him because they had a thing where they would repaint all the magazine stands that are out in the street there that I walk by. And they were using like acrylic paint, and he's like, this is going to chip and just keep coming off. And they're like, yes, we know. We have a contract with them to repaint these. So what they were doing is they were using the bad paint so they could keep That's how they do everything here. So if you come from a place where, you know, you just want to do normal work, or you're used to having some kind of work ethic, it doesn't matter what you're doing. And I understand some people will be like, oh, this is a bullshit job, fuck it. I get it. If you work for Walmart or Target or something, fuck them. Do, you know, get whatever you can out of it. Don't do anything extra for them, because they would put you in a meat grinder if they could get 5 cents out of it. You know, so fuck them. But, you know, working for the city, or working for a more mom and pop place, or you're doing something that serves the public, like a construction job, you want to do a good job. You know what I mean? It's just, I don't know. It's just something like, it doesn't matter what, if you're a bricklayer. Well, not that a bricklayer is bad. It's a good fucking job. I'm just saying, have pride. You got to have some kind of pride in what you're doing, because it's a reflection of you. Again, not if you're stocking shelves at Walmart. Do whatever the fuck you want. Put headphones on, do drugs, fucking steal stuff. But, you know, a public works thing, or I don't know. Maybe I'm just an old-fashioned person, and people don't think this way anymore. I don't know. Well, I feel a lot better now, guys. Thank you. Don't blame the teacher, blame the school.